Tulsa King is making quite the rounds on the internet, but probably the biggest question is why Sylvester Stallone made the jump to television. Also, he's finally gotten his chance to go gangster in this new series. Now, you must be clamoring for all the details. Well, you're in the right place because we have them, so stick around till the end to find out everything. First up, why did Sylvester Stallone make the jump to television? When you've dedicated your blood, sweat, and tears to Hollywood for nearly half a century, made almost 80 films, and created legends like Rocky and Rambo, you've earned the right to be picky about what to do with your time. Tulsa King is the latest in a long string of Paramount-backed Taylor Sheridan projects, and it stars Sylvester Stallone as mafia capo Dwight five-star Manfredi. He's a fish out of water, hoping to build a new kingdom on Tulsa's peaceful outskirts. When Stallone recently sat down for a press roundtable, the one question on everyone's mind was why now? The legendary action star revealed not just why now was the ideal time, but also what needed to happen for him to feel that this was the project that would bring his larger-than-life presence to the small screen. Moving on, what did Stallone say about this jump? Stallone remembers meeting Taylor Sheridan while riding horses in California. Because Stallone was getting lazy, he asked him to write the screenplay for Rambo. They moved on, and nothing happened. And after that, Sheridan got successful with Yellowstone. The filmmaker got this idea one day, called Sylvester, and pitched it to him in 3 seconds. And the legendary actor said yes to the project without even giving it a second thought. While the premise worked, Stallone, who is also an Academy Award-nominated writer, felt the script and character of Manfredi were missing something. This is why he became an executive producer on the show, and Stallone, along with Sheridan and showrunner Terrence Winter, worked together to shape Manfredi into something different. Stallone also revealed that in the original version, Manfredi was a thug. Tulsa King is more lighthearted and comic than expected at times, but it could have gone down a much darker route, arguably similar to previous Sheridan-created series if Stallone hadn't influenced the character. Following up, let's talk about Manfredi's character. According to Stallone, Manfredi was supposed to be very angry in the opening scene. He accidentally shoots a mirror and begins threatening his neighbors before going to Tulsa to take over strip joints, but the actor didn't like it, so they added that he was in prison. Also, he kept his mouth shut and he was loyal. Stallone created the House of Sly on the backs of some of the hardest characters ever played on film. The actor has embraced his age and has accepted who he is. That is the main reason he made the transition to television. In collaboration with Sheridan and Winter, he has created a smart, witty mobster with a contemplative attitude and a genuine sense of humor. Stallone said he wouldn't be interested if the character remained angry or broken down. That devotion and the unusually reflective mobster Stallone plays quickly impressed Tulsa King audiences. Stallone continued to talk about how comfortable he can be portraying Manfredi and how much of himself he puts into the character. And this is actually what drew Stallone to the part. He not only gets to highlight the laid-back, hilarious parts of his character more than he has in the past, but he also enjoys the fact that showcasing such traits is fresh territory for him. Not to mention, Sylvester Stallone finally gets his chance to go gangster in Tulsa King. After a career full of beloved characters, Stallone is finally getting the chance to scratch the itch of portraying a full-fledged gangster. The actor says that with this series, he finally got his gangster shot, and that everything comes to those who wait. Stallone also described the show as a wonderful combination of Sheridan's classic Western aesthetic and Winter's signature gangster approach. He claimed that when Sheridan approached him about the show, it was an offer he couldn't refuse. The actor wanted to star in a show about a gangster going west. He was excited about the show before it even aired, and he even posted an exclusive behind-the-scenes look on Instagram for die-hard fans. Moving on, what makes Tulsa King unique compared to Rocky and Rambo? Sylvester Stallone talked about what sets Tulsa King apart from projects like Rocky and Rambo. As the year comes to a close, the Paramount Plus series is undoubtedly one of the last to premiere, with high expectations. Stallone had previously starred as a special guest on shows such as This Is Us and others, but Tulsa King is his first series regular role. Tulsa King shows Stallone's lighter side. The actor described the transformation as liberating because he never imagined himself in such a character. Stallone claims he is more like his Tulsa King character than Rambo or Rocky. He's not that dark in real life and he doesn't talk like Rocky, but because these were the actor's defined defining roles, people always assumed that's who he was in real life too. He was eager to see if Dwight's character worked because that's how he actually is in real life. The actor even mentioned that he's been a class clown all his life. Coming up is Tulsa King, based on a true story. Tulsa King is a show about an exiled New York gangster, Dwight, the General Manfredi, a fictitious character whose life is partially based on the mafia's dark history. Taylor Sheridan continues to expand his universe with Tulsa King. Tulsa King's useful sources evoke one of the darkest moments in the history of the Sicilian mafia. Manfredi is not based on a specific person, but his exile to Tulsa is reminiscent of what happened to the Palermo crime family, the Inzerillo. While the Gambinos governed New York in the 1980s, the city of Palermo was ruled by the merciless Salvatore Riina, popularly known as the Boss of Bosses and the Beast, who officials blame for thousands of deaths. Not to mention, is anything real in Tulsa King? The Inzerillo family's ties with the mafia may inspire the story of Tulsa King. Salvatore Riina and the Corleonesi faction of the Sicilian mafia nearly destroyed the Inzerillo family and their other competitors throughout the 1970s in a successful drive to take control of the Sicilian mafia. After the Gambinos and the Inzerillo's other American allies intervened on their behalf, Salvatore Riina agreed to let the Inzerillos go under the condition that they never set foot on Sicilian territory again. The exiled Inzerillo stayed in New York, satisfied with remaining under the radar and protecting the influential New York mafia until the Gambino crime family collapsed in the mid-1980s. Tulsa King turns these events around by exiling a New York mobster to Oklahoma. Though Dwight's exile to Tulsa did not explicitly state that he could never return to New York, it is likely. Chicky Manfredi tells Dwight that there's nothing for him here. While everyone else in the room avoided the term, Dwight shouted it out loud to recall the Inzerillo family's history, which his fellow New York mobsters are all too familiar with. What more? What does Dwight being banished in the show mean? Tulsa King is completely fictitious, and no real-life New York gangster has ever been exiled to Tulsa in the name of establishing a new area for the mafia. Aside from how Dwight's experiences reflect the Inzerillo family's exile, some parts of the show are accurate. Like many other shows, Tulsa King is based on true crime events. This includes how Dwight is being monitored by authorities, which is a routine protocol for known mafia members who have been recently released from prison. More importantly, Dwight's exile represents the fate of anyone who has outlived their usefulness to the mafia. His exile takes on new meaning when seen in a historical context. Chicky and Pete Manfredi gave Dwight a consolation prize for taking the fall and remaining silent in prison for 25 years. But given the plot reveals that the cops are still looking for him, there may be more to the story than Dwight being passed up for the position of underboss, despite having served his sentence while sticking to the mafia's code of honor and silence. Finally, Sylvester Stallone isn't sure he'll return for Tulsa King Season 2. Despite receiving positive feedback for his work on the show, Sylvester Stallone is unsure whether he will return for Season 2. So while the show might have a bright future, it isn't clear if its lead, Sylvester Stallone, will be part of it. During a recent interview, Stallone raised doubts about returning for Season 2 of Tulsa King, which has yet to be renewed by Paramount+. Stallone revealed that he was very surprised by how time-consuming television is compared to filmmaking, and he's not sure whether he wants to commit to future seasons of the Mafia series. We don't know about you, but we're still holding out hope that he returns. That's a wrap for this video. What are your thoughts on Tulsa King? Let us know in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.